Salam. My name is Mustafa. For those of you new to the channel, this is Sabr Path. My game development brand. I am a game developer. So basically a brief history on myself. I have worked in the game industry. I've done administrative work at Treyarch during Black Ops 4. I've done some QA work with a indoor cycling. It was a very large studio, very large indoor cycling software. I've done solo development. I released one game on my own. Trying to work on another game that's currently on hold. Do some teaching. I've taught game testing, game intro to game design and development, as well as graphic communication, which is basically um, graphic design. More about like principles of design, stuff like that. And this channel is I talk about video game topics. I try to keep it, on video game topic stuff that is directly connected with the game industry, things that are problems. Why I try to share like why I think they're problems and try to come up with solutions. Um, if there are any solutions. And yeah, that's basically it. And I do these live streams weekly, usually on Tuesdays. This week, Wednesday. Got off work like not too long ago, maybe a couple hours ago. Anyways, that's the introduction. So today the main topic, I don't really have a main topic. I've just been really busy these past few days. I couldn't find uh one main topic. So I got some articles we will cover. Let me like just put them on the screen. But basically it also looks like there's some breaking news for today. I'm going to cover that. I think that might be the main topic. Oh, a Kotaku article. Oh, what is okay, game developer. Game developer is just also pretty bad too. I don't like game developer. What else is there? Tom's Hardware. Tom's Hardware. I'll look at Tom's Hardware. Okay, we'll look at Tom's Hardware. This is breaking news. Hey, how are you doing? Susan Richard. I probably demolished your name. I'm sorry, but welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Uh this is your first time. I appreciate you being here. Stop moving. Stop. My phone's moving. Anyways, and went back to wobbling. So, anyways, yeah, so that seems to be so the main topic is probably going to be about the today's breaking news, which is Trump administration ways forcing China Tencent. Um let's see what else. There's also Marathon coming out tomorrow. So I'll probably talk about those two topics. Richard would work. All right, early comment or interact. I appreciate you being here, regardless as whether you interact or not. But I prefer interaction. Makes these makes the live streams more fun when I get to interact with the audience. Yeah. Oh, thanks to the heart. Here, I'll do 100. Boop. There's 100. Thank you. So, anyways, it seems that's going to be the main topic. Are there any other topics for this week? Try to ask Gemini if there are any other topics. So, seems like Marathon, today's news on Tencent, and what else? So, I don't want to talk about Highguard. I know a lot of people are talking about Highguard because they are shutting down now, and like what I don't have anything else to say. I have nothing else to say about Highguard. I feel like everything has been said about it. We knew it was closing, so just because they're shutting it down now, I don't really have anything additional to add. Um, I guess one I'll talk a little bit. So basically, I watched this video explaining why um, why conglomerates like Tencent make so, or like they basically fund so many games and go for quantity rather than quality. And basically, like one of the main reasons is because when they do this, they are basically like it's like a spray and pray um, tactic rather than trying to like go for something that's really good and high quality and see if that's going to become the next big hit. They're like, okay, let's make 1,000 things and maybe one of those will be a big hit, or maybe if 100 of them will be a huge hit. And that's basically why Tencent will fund like so many of these, and like you'll have Highguard, you have um, like all these other games that just look like nothing special, and they're getting funding, and that's because they're trying to go for like quantity over quality. Did see something about U.S. seeking to force Tencent to divest from Riot and Epic. I haven't looked at it. Yeah, I haven't looked into it that either. I just saw that as I came over here looking for stuff to talk about. So we'll look at it together. We'll see what this is all about. In fact, let's go ahead and start that. Let me mark what time is it right? We're about 7 minutes in. All right. I'll mark that. Main topic starts at 7 minutes. 7:00. Main topic or Tencent and Trump. All right. So let's get into this. Let's get this on screen. Where is the? There it is. Okay, that one. Tom's Hardware. Let me get this on screen. Edition. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about this. So, Trump administration weighs forcing China Tencent to sell its stakes in Epic Games, Riot, and Supercell. Man, Supercell, like what they used to make lots of games back then. What have they been doing recently? Let's search for Supercell. Is it the same thing I'm thinking about? Oh, okay. This is not what I'm thinking about. Okay, this is the um, what's it called, guys? Go here we go. I was thinking something else. Yeah, so these are mobile games. Clash of Clans. That's the game I was thinking of. So Supercell is a big mobile game company. All right, hold on. Sorry about that. Pets versus Orcs. Gunshire. Boom. Okay, let's get back to this topic. Meeting held over security risk ahead of China summit with Xi Jinping. Like this clearly has to do with the situation with like the whole West versus the East at the moment. I mean, this is more than just Iran at the point. I don't want to go too much into geopolitics because this is not a geopolitics channel. This is video games, but they forced China into selling what's it called TikTok in on the West, and now and it's basically because it had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they were gathering information, because all the stuff that they were doing, the other social medias were doing as well. They're doing like um, Meta and X, and they're all doing the same thing, and they're trying to say that okay, yeah, China is doing all these things, and it wasn't any different. the real reason that they wanted TikTok to be sold is because TikTok was like the primary source of um, footage from Gaza going mainstream, because that was the only place that you can, like, it was the largest platform in which you can get those videos. And nowadays, like, you have to go to Telegram um to find those. Let me see what you're saying, Richard. What you're saying. Let me catch up. Did something about the USC? Okay. Not sure if Matthew Ball is on your radar or not. However, his State of Gaming 2026 might be worth covering. Oh, who's Matthew Ball? Still in early access stage, not finished yet. Yeah, best to steer away from that and IMO. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's go to camera only. Transition. Let me look up what Matthew with two T, Matthew Ball State of Games address. Is that what? State of Gaming. What is a Matthew Ball? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, this guy. He's okay. Yeah, I recall looking at this stuff last year, and I believe I used some of it in one of my videos a year ago. Look into that. We can skim this. If there's anything interesting. Hey, Savranan, welcome. Glad you made it. Let's yeah, let's get back to this article real quick. Let me move back. Transition back. There we go. All right. So let's take a look at what this says. The Trump administration is actively debating whether to allow Chinese tech giant Tencent to keep its ownership stakes in several major gaming companies, including Fortnite creator Epic Games, League of Legends developer Riot Games, and Finnish mobile studio Supercell. The Financial Times reported today. Senior White House officials are said to have held meetings to assess whether the investments pose a national security risk ahead of President Trump's planned April trip to China to meet Xi Jinping. That's just so ridiculous. Like, those are the national security. Like, he's going to China, but the security risk is that China owns those gaming companies. Okay, all right, that makes sense. A cabinet level discussion scheduled for Tuesday was postponed due to scheduling conflicts. The report said Tencent holds 28% stake in Epic Games, fully owns Riot Games, and has a controlling stake in Supercell, the studio behind Clash of Clans. Together, those three companies reach more than a billion players worldwide. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, a Treasury-led panel that reviews inbound investments for security risks, has been examining Tencent's gaming. Let me flip that over. Don't need my phone going off. Has been examining gaming holdings since Trump's first term, making it one of the panel's longest running cases. Okay. It was a decent public last year. Why I'm bringing him up for a future date? Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll have that for next week's uh discussion then. Yeah, I appreciate that, because having a topic ahead of hand makes it easier for me to, be ready for these live streams, especially when, like, I'm really busy these days. Like, this week I was so busy. I have the finals for my students and getting everything ready. But at this point, I did the final class today, and I'm just waiting on them to turn in their assignments, and then I grade them. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's see. There's a lot going on in the chat. Let's scroll up a little bit. Conflicting interest makes it messy. Asia is the only growing market for games, from what data I've seen. Came to give my like and say studios let investors to rule gaming, and they ruled Karens. And they ruled Karens should rule over men's hobbies. Thanks. What's that? I'm not even gonna attempt. You, AG, Ace. Did I? I think this last week I had the same. I said the same thing. AG. Hey, salam alaikum, Mr. 10 years. Whoa, that is a language. Que puede melir sal? No comprende. No comprende. Anyways, let's get back to this article. It comes to no surprise that the committee's main concern is user data. Gaming platforms collect financial information, personal details, and chat logs from hundreds of millions of players, but there's the added kicker that Epic's Unreal Engine is widely used in Western military simulations and training by defense contractors and armed forces. Well, I mean, that sounds like their problem. That sounds like their problem for using Unreal Engine. Like, if they're using Unreal Engine, that's not China's fault. Excuse me. Sorry. The U.S. Army has worked directly with Epic for years on early versions of the engine, so Tencent's ownership stake in the company that builds the technology has added to the scrutiny. Attempts were made to resolve the case by the Biden administration, but disagreements between agencies meant that it never happened. Then Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monoka pushed for the CFI US to force Tencent to divest its gaming companies, while the Treasury Department preferred allowing the investments to remain under data protection mitigation measures. The FT reports citing former officials. These platforms could serve as a significant intelligence collection source. Chris McGuire, a former Biden administration official now at the Council on Foreign Relations, told the Financial Times. The Pentagon added Tencent to its list of alleged Chinese military companies in January 2025. Designation Tencent called a mistake and denied. More recently, in mid-February, the Pentagon briefly published an updated list adding Alibaba and BYD before pulling it within an hour. A move that sparked speculation the administration was trying to reduce friction ahead of Trump's China visit. Sources familiar with the matter cautioned that it remained unclear whether the administration would push for forced divestitures or allow Tencent to keep its investment with conditions. Tom's Hardware has contacted Epic Games for comment and did not get any. All right, so I mean, I definitely think this has a lot to do with geopolitics. Because like I said, this is let's switch back. Let's transition back. Yeah, this is like clearly has nothing to do with anything they are doing different than what all these other corporations, especially American corporations, are doing. Um, I mean, even if people want to make the argument of, oh, that it's not, you know, they're not American. Well, what about like all other companies that are not American? Like they're doing the same stuff. You got Japanese companies. You have Saudi Arabia, like that owns EA now. But that because of the fact that they like to pass bucks between the American politicians, like then that they're fine. But like I said, this is a completely like geopolitical thing. It's nothing to do with actual um data being insecure. Let's go back to the chat. Okay, what can go wrong? Sounds really cool for a name. FT is paywalled. Sadly, what's FT? Don't have a sub for with them right now to read their report on this. So nothing has changed as of yet. Tencent is nothing but been on the ban list for years, but that only impacts those in federal and DoD related domains for most part. Also, this channel isn't giving legal advice; just wants to make that clear. Yeah. I'm not giving any financial or legal advice. Not giving any of that. Did I give any legal advice? I mean, I don't take legal advice from me. I am not a lawyer. Don't take legal advice from me. Oh, Financial Times. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I get you. All right. Now I understand what you're talking about. Financial Times doesn't give legal advice. Don't take legal advice from me either. All right. Yeah, so let's bring up another topic real quick cuz I don't really have too much to say about that. Just to avoid a risk, disclaimer is all. Yeah, let's talk about another topic cuz I don't really have too much else to say about uh this whole Tencent thing. Let me close the tabs. Do these other articles have anything to say? No, this article is literally shorter. Probably just copied stuff from the original article. Let's close this out. Close that out too. Wow, that this article is like literally sentences. Let me put this on screen. Like this article. Look how short. It's not even an article. Look how short that is. All right, let's go back. Transition. All right, let me get back to my art list of articles. So we could talk about Marathon real quick since that's coming out tomorrow, I believe. So let's actually do this. Let's pull up SteamDB, get Marathon on here. Take a look at how that worked out. No, that's steamdb.com. SteamDB never .info. That's what it is. Where are you, Marathon? Marathon. Wow, it's in the top right there. All right, let's take a look at this. Transition back. I mean, when was the server slam? Server slam was like recently. It was like this past weekend, I think. But yeah, so the number of followers have gone up. Patches? No, not patches. Metadata, packages. Where the charts? That's what I'm looking for. Charts. Only got these charts. Don't have any other charts. No player charts or anything like that. But yeah, so we got Marathon over here. What are you guys saying over here? You mean Concord 3? Yeah. Yeah. Concord 3. So let me pull up real quick the newest gameplay. Transition. YouTube. Let's pull up some newer gameplay of this and take a look at it, and I talk while that's up. So Concord 3. New trailer. Okay, so this was posted. A cinematic trailer? No. Don't want a cinematic trailer. I want a gameplay trailer. Launch gameplay trailer. All right, let's go watch this from 2 weeks ago. Let's switch back. Transition. Put this back here. Make it bigger. Mute that so I don't care about what they're saying. So like the overall look doesn't look very different. Hey, I see Cosgrove. How's it going? I know they're talking about how we have this was alpha footage, and then like side by side. Yeah, I've seen some side by side, and like it looks different when side by side, but when it's not side by side, like I can't even tell. I can only tell when it's side by side that it looks different, and I don't even think this is very like, this looks like an indie game. It has some very bright colors, which I mean that's good to make things contrast and pop. But like the overall, like it doesn't have anything to do with the original Marathon, so it's completely disconnected from the original the original player base, the original fan base. And the defenders of this would say stuff like, "Oh, this looks it's supposed to look this way because the people are in like these bodies, like they're in remote bodies, kind of like an avatar, like they're in a remote body." And just because like they're in remote bodies or whatever, or like they're supposed to look like dead people, it doesn't mean that having an having an in-universe explanation to why the game looks ugly is not it doesn't excuse the look. And yeah, there are some people really into this who think this is really awesome looking, but Bungie is supposed to go for mass appeal because of the fact that they spent a lot of money on this. And when you spend so much money on something, you need to get so much money back, and you gotta have to make it more mass appeal. Like it's not that hard to figure out that you need to have mass appeal to make money. Having in-game, in-universe explanation as to why something's ugly does not excuse why it's ugly. I mean, look at Elden Ring, for example. Elden Ring has lots of hideous creatures, and like what's called horror creatures, nightmare creatures. But Elden Ring looks fantastic. Elden Ring, like every screenshot looks like a piece of art. It looks really cool. Like there's a just because you need something to look disturbing doesn't mean you can't make it look cool. Let me get to the chat. What's the chat saying? What's the chat saying? All right. Let me catch up. Main issue for devs is we need funding. They're a funding source. So my primary take is that it holds a potential um, to remove a funding source. Sorry if that's redundant. Eastern games have always been the best. You mean Concord 3? Okay, yeah. Concord 3 is coming. Hey, how about Highguard shutting down later this month? Not even sunsetting, just dead. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier in the stream that the reason why I don't want to talk about Highguard is it. I've already said everything about it. It was everyone knew it was going to shut down, especially after the layoff. When they got down to 20 devs to just kind of have a skeleton crew, keep it going, and like that was the surefire sign that it was going to shut down. And since since everyone knew it was going to shut down, I don't really have anything additional to say. That's basically it. I just don't have any more stuff to say. Um, if you guys have stuff to say, I don't mind reading it. And don't play those kind of games. Sorry, opinion. So no opinion. I think the first marathon was more like a Doom clone. Yeah. So the first, I think there was two marathon games, but they were Doom clones with an alien and cyber aesthetic. So rather than fighting demons in hell, you're fighting aliens on a spaceship. And it was a little bit more than just Doom, though. It was very narrative heavy. It had a lot to do with artificial intelligence, and there was also some interesting design choices with the levels. Like they tried to have some platforming stuff without actually having a jump button, which was kind of weird. But it was basically a Doom-ish type of game. And rather than making a game that's first person story narrative driven, rather than making that, they're working on this extraction shooter, which extraction shooters are a very niche genre of competitive shooters. It's basically like the Souls likes of multiplayer shooters. But unlike Souls likes, which you can play by yourself, a multiplayer shooter, an extraction shooter, you need other players. So it makes it even more tough and it's even more niche. Let's go back to here. No, this isn't a Halo-like game. It doesn't look or function like Halo games did. Yeah, so like the thing is like the you bring a good point because so many people are still latching on to the fact that Bungie's one of the greatest first-person shooter developers. How can you talk bad about Marathon? They made Halo. They made Destiny. It's like, first of all, bro, not even the same people. Not even the same people. The people, the name of the studio does not mean it's the same people inside. People make games, not studio names. On top of that, like they're making something that doesn't even look like Halo, like as far as gameplay. So you're saying, okay, these guys made Halo, and then they make something that's like it's an extraction shooter. Okay, all right, buddy, good job, good job. Yeah, everyone who's in here, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have super chats, I'd appreciate it too. You don't have to do super chats. I'm going to still go through the chats anyways, but if you want to support the channel, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to this. Man, Forever Games live service breeds a lot of apathy since the market is saturated with too much of that games. Yeah, I completely agree. The thing is, everybody, all these publishers, all these conglomerates, all these investors, they want to have their own live service game because they want to hit that gold mine that the gold mine that Roblox and Fortnite and whoever else, like, they want to get that same, gold mine. And so, like, it's completely shifted the you know like AAA gaming, like big budget games, have shifted towards chasing that because the people who are in charge of the money said go after that. And that's why we're seeing all this garbage rather than seeing great games. People want to have experiences. And yeah, like, what's her name? Um Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, she's claiming, that's her claim, going for experiences. But looking at her history, that's not what they're gonna do. They're not gonna go for experiences. They're gonna try to acquire more. Uh, they're gonna try to acquire more studios that have any sort of success. Acquire them to make more games that are exclusive for Game Pass, and then they're going to shut down because they're not making enough money because it's not moving the needle for Game Pass subscriptions, and that's the only way that they can make money is through Game Pass subscriptions, because the fact that people are not actually buying the games and they're just using their already existing Game Pass subscription. Let me get back to here. All right, here's the chat. Um, did really like their first trailer, but that has nothing to do with the actual game. I think it might have been done by those that do the secret level media. Just had that look to it. I last year, it was like almost a year ago now. Yeah, it was like March or April. I think it was April. Yes. Yeah, April, when they released that first trailer, because I remember I was on Saturday Night Hypnosis with Hypnotic, and we looked at that first trailer, and I told the panel, I was like, hey, pay attention to this trailer. How many guys do you see? Because, like, the thing is, all these characters, they all look like, if they look like a guy, it can go either way. It can be a guy or a girl. Like, everybody looks ambiguous because they want to go for that look. I didn't even like that first trailer that much. Um, my marathon looks like low budget. Um, take a look at that real quick. Why it looks low budget? Edition. Taking a look at. So I think one thing that might make it look low budget is because of the fact that it's a little too clean. So the surfaces, they have that mirror's edge look where everything is a clean surface. You don't see the, like, a lot of bump mapping on the models. So therefore everything looks very clean, and that kind of just gives it a, I mean, they got some grime there. Like, there's grime like here and there, but like you see for a lot of the parts, just very flat surfaces without a lot of detail aside from grime. There's some stuff here, but like this looks very empty. and due to like the emptiness, lack of bump mapping for certain textures, I'm gonna say that that's probably why it looks more low budget. It looks like they don't have. Like, if you look at something like Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah, that's a garbage game, but they have a very high budget, and the game actually looks very good. And yeah, this is not a great comparison because of the fact that it's completely different genre. It's like completely different environment, very different genre. But you look at this, just like there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, it's still empty, but there's all these plants here. There's NPCs. It looks like a world. It looks like, yeah, this is a wide open field, but it looks like a world. And there was a lot of manpower that was put into a game like this to make the world look like there was life in it. Unlike Marathon, which it looks lifeless, and due to the fact that it looks lifeless, I mean, of course, the argument is it's supposed to look that way, but because it looks lifeless, that's why it looks more low budget. That's my answer to that question. Go back, get back to the chat. What you saying, chat? Read that. Okay, yeah, there we go. Marathon looks like a blocky, unfinished mess. I agree. Nosgoth, Triad Wars, and a lot of other games shut down long before we wanted them to. It's kind of normal for games to get canceled and for players to never even hear about them being made. Man, I, I that makes me think about Super Mario Night Combat. Like, I was so obsessed with that game. Let me see if I can get that game on screen quick. Super Monday Night Combat. Like, uh, that game flopped really bad. Let's get this on edition. Yeah, so this game, it was I mean, it looks like what's it called? Oh, this is Monday Night Combat. This is not Super Monday Night Combat. Anyways, it doesn't matter. They look similar. Anyways, so Super Monday Night Combat is a third person shooter, MOBA. So you have to push your lanes. But point being, game died. The game was abandoned by the devs, and like once they realized, whoa, what's Bill Clinton doing there? Go back. Point being, like once the devs realize that they have nothing do, like they cannot save the game, um they kind of just let the first one go, Monday Night Combat, and then they tried doing a second one, Super Mario Combat, and then they botched that one as well, and then so they like had to shut down the servers once EU did their legislation in which you have to like have like some sort of a way to have a server backup, otherwise you can't have the game running. Get back to the stream. So just give you guys a heads up. I'm not gonna do a whole 90 minutes today. I'm just gonna do 1 hour. So I'll stick around for like another 12 minutes. Mainly because it's today. Like I started so late due to the fact that I had my class earlier, and I still got a lot of stuff to do. I'm still pretty busy. So let's get back to the chat. Marathon. Okay, yeah, I got that. Marathon looks like blocky, unfinished mess. Okay, you read that. My main take on games like Highguard is their they're relying players and whales, and that makes that market is oversaturated with player base and doesn't want to move to a newer game. Yeah. Like they definitely like the fact that I agree that they were depending on whales, and the game just flopped so quickly. They went from they nearly had 100,000 players, and within hours lost 90% of their player base. That is insane. Over 90%. That's just an insane drop. They had the ball. The ball got passed to them. Maybe the 100K wasn't enough, but getting 100K when you're like not even well known is huge. So they got something. And then once the ball was in their court, they dropped the ball. Like, this is all completely the fault of the management, the leadership, because not only they made the wrong game to begin with, they chased after a lame what's it called, live service game. But after everybody mocked the game, they were still so confident to release it as is. That's just nuts. They'd have to be Marvel Rivals or Arc Raiders to stand out today. That's not easy. We're in an attention war for attracting gamers. Yeah, they definitely were in an attention war. But the thing is, what's Arc Raiders? Arc Raiders is like a as far as I know, it's a brand new IP. Arc Raiders is able to stand out because of the fact that they made a good game. Marathon, first of all, they have the name Bungie. They have an existing IP. One second. They have an existing IP. And while it is not a very popular IP, it's an existing IP. There's people have heard about it. I've heard about it. But I've never played it. I've heard about it. The point being, like, they have some advantages as long as the game was good. If the game looked good and played good, then it would get somewhere. Like, who made Arc Raiders? Like, what did the guys who make Arc Raiders? What did they make beforehand? Like, I don't even know. Who? One second. Like, Embark Studio. What did Embark make? What did Embark? Looks like just Arc Raiders. What did Embark make before Arc Raiders? Okay. The Finals is a team-based competitive shooter. Yeah, they did not have any sort of advantage, so they made a good game and it worked. Unlike Marathon, they're dropping the ball. Unlike Bungie. Let's get back to the chat. Get that the characters weren't really developed into personalities and so on. Didn't have a reason to care about them. To put another. That reminds me. I saw there was like leaks of the character designer for Highguard. Like, she released the other character designs, and they're supposedly a lot better than the ones that made it to the game. Maybe next or one of these weeks I'll put that in my notes. Maybe I'll look at that and just review those character designs. Because supposedly they're better, but I didn't take a look at them yet. Basically, there wasn't anything for community to latch onto, building a community around it, at least from my views. Thomas Lockley's noise aside, Assassin's Creed Shadows at least looked cool. There's a community for the game already, and the people do rock the merch for Shadows. Maybe hot take, but that Yasuke's trap music um theme I think actually sounds cool. Maybe it's a hot take, racist or not, but I think it sounds cool. I hate Asmongold, click baby. Oh, is that, yeah, the Clinton thing. Yeah. It's over. It's over. It's the end. No worries. We all have. Okay, yeah, that's something else. For context, 50K is the we did it mark for PC indie devs. That's generally is viewed as very successful release. I mean, that's like, yeah, 50K is like, well, for indie dev, that's like, that's incredibly huge. That is really huge to get 50K. How much did on this is let's partner. Let me look at Steam partner page. I mean, my games are not anything to compare to because my games are nothing. But yeah, there's gonna be a promotion coming up soon. I'm not allowed to say because it's all NDA. When is that? Next week? That's next week. I better get the images ready for that. Next week there will be some sort of a promotion. I'm not gonna say what it is, but Nexus Defenders will be part of it, and yeah, Nexus Defenders will be like 30% off during this promotion. One of these themed sales, but I'm not allowed to say what it is. Anyways, let's look at. Let me pull up my financial stuff, view financial data, and so let's see. Nexus Defenders sold. Lifetime units sold. 1,177 units. So like 1,000 units. Oh wow. 442 Steam units and 735 retail activations. So I guess like 735 people activated through a Steam key, or is it the other way around? Anyways, let me look at my wish list for Beware tomorrow. My wish list dead. Right, all history. But all history. Get this on. Let's put this on screen. Oh, this is when I went viral. Beware tomorrow jumped up. So Nexus Defenders wish lists. I had that many wish lists, 1,700. Beware tomorrow. Ooh, not doing too well. I need to get back to working on this game. Wishlist conversion rate is below the Steam average. Oh, that's because I didn't sell anything. I didn't sell anything for Beware tomorrow. Anyways, yeah, there's but oh wait, I had to switch this up. That's not correct anymore. Because no, yeah, this is correct now. Never mind. Yeah, so basically uh yeah, so I had this game, I had nothing, and this is when I went viral, and then so I got like 1,000 wish lists on this. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not really actively advertising the game anymore because of the fact that I'm on pause, but I'll get back to it. Let's get back to the chat. Switch back. I'm going to wrap things up. Like I said, I'm a little busy this week. Sorry for the shorter stream. I appreciate all you guys showing up though. Let's see. Nothing new. Okay. Um. Yeah. So thanks again. I mean, if no one has anything else for the chat or super chats, anything else, we'll just go wrap things up next week. Next week, I should. Let's take a look real quick. I have my calendar. I should be back on Tuesday. Let's look. Look today. Yeah, yeah. Next week I will be regular time Tuesday. Unless I get a new job. I mean that I do have an interview with a bigger company for a gaming related um position. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well. We'll see. It is a the title is game developer, but it's not really. But I don't want to say too much because like I might not get hired for one thing. And yeah, that's that. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I mean like it'll definitely pay more than this warehouse job I'm doing. This warehouse job pays peanuts. That's the thing about physical labor jobs is that because everyone's expendable and doesn't take any real skill to do, um they pay you nothing. So you work harder and you don't get paid more despite your harder work because the fact that it's not skill based. Like even if you do a good job, like with this warehouse job, like I at my current title, uh, if I made $2 more, I cap out as to how much money I make. Like there's a literal cap to how much money I can make with this warehouse job at my current title. So I'd have to like get it promoted to like like a shift leader or something like that to make more money. So, and even then it won't be significantly more. It would be like more what's the word? Not requirements, more responsibility, but not like an equal amount of more money. So I mean that's just the bummer about physical labor. So hopefully, yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully I do get this job because I haven't had a full time job in like 3 years. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. But if I do get this job, then I'll have to completely do something. I'll have to rework the whole schedule for this live stream. Maybe I'll do it on weekends. But this would have to be completely changed if I get this job. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. I always appreciate you guys interacting and saying stuff in the chat. I always appreciate you guys asking questions and giving suggestions on topics to talk about. Um, and yeah, hope you guys have a good one. God bless. Salam.